Welcome everyone to another recording by Melo and Chaz, and here we have this article that came out. This is a reaction article because at the end I'm gonna go through some of the reactions or comments and give commentary on the comments. How interesting that is, how ironic that is. But here we have the Queen of England. She gives a sassy remark the staff about finding a slug in her meal. She found a slug in her salad, and you would think that she would cut off heads to find a slug. Not, we're not just talking about a live slug, we're talking about a dead slug. When any slug is not anything you would want to find in your food, whether it's a dead insect or a live insect. I think I wouldn't want a live moving insect in my food. But when it comes to a slug, actually a dead slug is better than a live slug. We'll get to that later. But going through this article, how did the queen respond? She was a little bit sassy, but not in a argumentative, rude way. She basically left a note on a napkin with the dead slug, and here's what she said: "I found this in the salad. Could you eat it?" That's what the queen wrote. It's like, boom, mic drop is what it says. Like, she basically made this joke, walked off stage, dropped the mic. Does anybody want a dead or live slug in a salad? Now, they have to be paying a lot of money for this. Is a royal kitchen staff. It's a royal dinner serving who they call Her Majesty. So that they have to be paying a lot of money. Now, if they pay all this money, you think they would have the time and the skill to not have a insect, dead or alive, in Her Majesty's salad. So it makes you wonder, it makes you come to believe that this was placed there on purpose in order to, let's say, either piss off the queen, but more precisely to kill the queen. Because we see in another article is that slugs, slugs is the last thing you want to find in your food, and it's the last thing you want to possibly consume. Now, as we were saying earlier, is that you would rather have a living slug in your salad than a dead slug, because you can have some type of parasite or slug. Like, say you consume it, and it won't cause me. It may not cause immediate death, but it may cause death years later. Like with this person here in this article, Sam Ballard, ate a slug in 2010, and he died in 2018. So it took him 8 years to die, but he noticed some symptoms and it affected him. He went into a coma for 1 year. So, and it was a dead slug. And what, as we're saying, a dead slug is worse than a living slug, because here we have, and I read that a living slug secretes certain um, chemicals, if you will, that protects itself and then your immune system. But a dead slug immediately attacks your immune system. So you would rather have consumed a living slug than a dead slug. So if this queen actually didn't catch the slug in her salad and actually ate it, there's a very good chance she would have, not just could have, there's a very good chance she would have died very quickly. I mean, considering her age, she would have died. So this would have been a way of somebody in her staff. They need to figure out who it was, pinpoint, because that person was trying to kill the queen. Okay, now, and considering her life was on the line, you think, why would she give such a, not just sassy but kind-hearted remark, and not, I'm sure there's somebody cracked the whip. So somebody cracked the whip and got down on it, and on the issue, but you know she could have died. Seriously. So let's get to the reactions here. some of the reactions that people have commenting on this article in Yahoo. Um, or it says that shows that someone didn't wash the lettuce there. That's true. And what better thing to put into a salad is a slug? Considering it can blend in, you won't be able to see it. You can think it's part of the salad. There's many times where I've ate a salad and I double look at some of the pieces of my meal and I think, is this really a part of the meal? Is this could be, an insect, a bug? It could be something that I don't want in my food. So for her, she must have knew what slugs. It must have been something off the wall. So it's good that her vision is still working. Um, See, GYRTX says she is the queen for a reason. Elegantly and firmly, she got the message across. She is the best, and long live the queen. This person is talking about how she responded, her elegant response, her sassy message, and it's true. I didn't expect her to respond like that in such a nice manner. Let's see. Patsy B says, didn't we just read about a young man who ate a garden slug on a dare and recently died after being paralyzed for 8 years? Eek. Yeah, that's actually just what I went over. That actually happened. So, dead slugs can be deadly for sure. Okay. Nicholas says, this is the queen. Cooking staff should expect and thoroughly clean every bit of her meal. There is no excuse for this, and the staff should have been fired. Surely, I'm sure whoever it boiled down to will be fired and maybe even killed. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying they wouldn't be killed, but I'm saying that she definitely could have died. A dead slug. Consuming a dead slug is no small thing. Spastic Horse says, I do think heads should roll. The sanitary standards by the Royal Kitchen are clearly subpar. Time to find some new staff, possibly experienced working in a kosher restaurant, so that the highest level of attention is paid to the cleanliness of the produce, so that no tiny bug could even remain on a piece of lettuce to be eaten. Yeah, that's true. Very very elaborate message comment there. Spastic Horse. Chris says, she's way more tolerant than I would have been. I'd have fired the lot of them. That is true. Most of us would have had a fit. Most of us would have probably filed a lawsuit. And like I said, back in the day, they would have had all of their heads for a slug in her meal. Okay, Paul says, for dessert, Her Highness was served the house specialty, Rocky Mountain oysters. Nicely put. Um, let's see here. Lori says, not funny. A kid in Australia just died from eating one of those in a dare. Yeah, and then that we were talking about, like, this is no joke. Okay, eating a slug, you could have died. She could have died. So she really lucked out. And she's the one that found it. Nobody else found it. Let's see one more. Let us see one more. Fred the First says, bake it with butter, parsley, and garlic. Yummy. Yeah, it might taste good. You might as well fry it as well. It might taste good, but you probably end up dead the next day. So, as people say, long live the queen. You definitely wouldn't need to say that. Would have needed to say that if she had actually consumed the slug, and it would have not. It would have been the reverse. It would have been not so long living the queen afterwards. Yeah. So you guys make sure when you're eating food. If you come across a slug, make sure that is a dead slug if you actually consume it. Um, No, actually, what I mean, make sure it's a living slug if you consume it. A dead slug is worse. You really are worse off if you eat a dead slug. The living slug will be better. So, cheers and have a good day.